The big challenge facing us is, on the one hand, climate change, and on the other hand, still the need for new construction and infrastructure, particularly in developing countries, where we have a growing world population and increasing urbanization. Projections are that the world population will grow to about 10 billion, but I think we see that that growth is really going to be concentrated in developing areas. Particularly the continent of Africa is forecast to see a doubling of the population from 1 billion to 2 billion. Materials alone can't be a solution. You have to look at solution by integrating all stages of the process. So this led to creating the CWSC, where we can bring these different disciplines together. The new cement type we've developed over the last 10-15 years called LC3, which shows that you can produce cement with like 40% less emissions from widely available raw materials, and you can do this more cheaply. Cement is seen as the bad guy because we all kind of hear, well, it accounts for about 8% of CO2 emissions, and that's true. But we have to put that in the context that it makes up about 2/3 to 3/4 of all the materials we use. The cement plants, they produce a product called clinker, which is the high CO2 component. And with LC3, we can replace between 1/2 and 2/3 of that CO2 emitting clinker by other materials, primarily clay.
By 2050, half of the population of the global population is going to come from Africa. This clay is abundantly in Africa. When you go to Africa, this clay is quite huge, and most of the time is not used. If you can provide the material which is cheap to these people who have low income to be able to build their good quality, affordable housing, you won't only be solving the environmental issue, but you also be improving the living standard of people.
Many people think, oh, well, we could solve this problem if we go back to nature, we build everything from trees or other biomaterials. But for the scales we're talking about, and forestry practices around the world, this is really backfiring. If we wanted to replace just 1/4 of concrete by timber, this would imply to plant new forest 1.5 times the size of India. We've already been doing this for about 10 years with LC3.
We are really happy to work with and collaborate with the CWSC. On a eu une bonne expérience avec ce LC3. À la mise en place, il n'y a eu aucune différence. On a eu les mêmes quantités à mettre de ciment que d'habitude. I think it's gonna be great for the future.
Ultimately, anything you build comes out the ground. It either comes out the ground as a mineral or off the ground as a biosource, and in either case, it's damaging for the environment. Really, the critical thing is to minimize this extraction of resources. And now we're also finding ways we can recycle these materials. So we won't have to keep extracting forever. We will reach a point where we can take buildings that already exist and use them to build new buildings.